My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for Veterans Memorial and Multicultural Histories Incorporated. And we're here today at Riviera Beach Preparatory Achievement Academy, excuse me, in Riviera Beach, Florida. Today's date is 10/11/2021. And we also have present Erica Whitfield and the teacher, Mr. Rachel Williams. Cameron, the 5D Mark IV. We've got on the 1DX, we have Mary Beth, we have Mark on the 5D Mark II. What is your name?
Nicole Rice.
Okay, Ms. Rice, and when is your birthday?
September 4th, 1982.
Okay. And what branch of the service were you in?
United States Air Force.
Okay. What city do you live in?
Riviera Beach.
Okay, Riviera Beach, okay. Okay, so we covered all of that. You were in the Air Force. And what rank were you when you separated?
E5.
And where were you living when you went into service? Before you went in.
I was living in West Palm Beach.
Okay, all right. And what were you doing?
I was in high school.
And so did you go straight into the military after high school?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Where did you go? How did you find a recruiter? Or did the recruiter find you?
We found a recruiter in Royal Palm, the high school I was graduating from.
Royal Palm Beach?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so what was the process for you to get, did you go out of Miami? Because that's where I went out of. Okay. All right. So they sent you down to Miami, put you on a plane, and you wound up where?
San Antonio.
Okay, right. Texas, exactly. Lackland Air Force Base?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So that was basic training?
Yes.
How long was your basic training?
My basic training was 6 weeks long.
6 weeks?
Yes.
And how was it? How were the instructors?
The instructors, they were, and looking back now, they were hard, of course. They were hard on us, but it wasn't like brutal or anything. But it was still military training.
Okay. All right. How was the food?
It was delicious.
And so what was basic training like? What did you do in basic training?
What did we do in basic training? We woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We started the day off with physical training. Either we run, we do calisthenics. We mainly ran every morning for at least 30 minutes, maybe to an hour. Also, that was all we did back in the morning. We didn't really have a range of exercises we did. But yes, we started our day off with physical fitness.
Okay. So I take it you got through the 6 weeks without any negative incidents?
Yes.
Was anybody injured in basic that you remember?
No, sir.
Okay. Everybody make it to the end?
Yes.
How many people were in your flight?
I don't remember.
About 50?
More likely. Probably give or take.
Okay. All right. Okay, so after basic training, before you went to your first duty station, did you go home first, or did you go straight to your next duty
We
station?
went to our military training right after basic. We did our graduation, and then we went to tech school.
Where was that?
That was in Shepherd Air Force Base, Texas.
Okay. What was your AFSC?
4AO-X1, Medical Administration or Health Services Administration.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long was that?
It was 2 months.
8 weeks?
Yes, 8 weeks.
And how did that go?
It was different. We learned everything in blocks. So it was very interesting learning the different processes, because we learned the whole AFSC in different, in different blocks. But going to your different duty station, you don't realize you have an entry level, on the job training, but you learned everything in tech school. You
Right.
learned like the bulk of everything in tech school.
Okay. Okay. So after that 8 weeks, did we go home on leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, no, I didn't. Only time I went home, I was there during the holiday. I went home for Christmas.
Right.
And then we graduated in, February? And then in February, I left for my first duty station.
Okay. All right, and where was that?
Keesler Air Force Base.
That was your duty station?
Yes, sir. Our first duty station.
In Mississippi?
Yes.
Wow, okay, so you're not too far, about 70 miles from New Orleans.
Yes, that's
Right.
exactly what that was.
I think I was there.
Yes.
How long was that tour of duty?
3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so you were in medical administration
Mhm.
for 3 years at Keesler. So what was that job like?
It was when I was there, I did an entry level job, which is working in the outpatient records department. That's where a lot of unless you're in a leadership position,
Right,
you're pretty much learning how to file records, which is how we start doing our job anyway. We learn how to file records, we learn about the tertiary filing system, learning about the social security numbers and how, the color coding and where to put different levels of distinguished VIP records, like the higher ranking leadership. We learned a lot about the dependent system. We learned about, the outside dependent system, like I'm the sponsor, I have my mother as my dependent. We learn about filing different people under different, under a different system within that whole.
categories.
That whole category, yes,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so it's just like a regular job, what were your hours, like 9 to 5?
Oh, 7 to 4.
7 to 4?
Yeah,
Okay, and that was just Monday through Friday,
yes,
basically, and you're off on the weekend?
yeah.
Okay, so, I take it that, so, did you witness a lot of casualties coming through there? Were you stationed at the hospital on the
I was
day?
stationed at the hospital. Not anything wartime or natural disaster. I left when Hurricane Katrina happened, when all of that was happening, but I never seen, to be perfectly honest, I never seen anything. We only did training.
Okay,
Yes.
and
we did a
you
lot
said
of
you
training.
left, you mean you separated?
No. I
You
left
mean
in
you-
2005 when Hurricane Katrina happened. I left right before.
Okay, and where'd you go?
I went to Kunsan.
In Asia?
Yes.
What country?
South Korea.
Okay, and what did you do there?
I did the same thing.
For how long?
I was there for a year. That was
1 year?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, and what was that like?
That was actually, it was very different because you're training, every section of the world we go to, we're training for a different mission.
Uh-huh,
Stateside, you have a mission to do more training and getting your troops prepared to go to these locations.
Right.
But for the mission I had in South Korea, we're basically getting prepared for the threat of North Korea, getting ready to, in simpler words, bomb us. So the mission is called Get Fit to Fight at Night.
uh-huh,
So, what that means is like we're basically getting fit and trained to get ready for the North Korean threat. And that's, we're doing that 24 hours a day.
so it's all about preparedness?
Yes.
Okay, operational readiness, okay. All right, so, were there any casualties there the entire time you were there?
No.
Okay, while you were there, did you travel anywhere?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you go?
Where did I go? We went to, where did we go? We went to some different parts of Korea, like Daegu and Busan and Jeju Island. We didn't stay on the peninsula. We just did different things around that area. I didn't go to Japan. Well, I did go to Japan. I actually did go to Japan.
For a weekend, or?
I just coming through the airport. We stayed there for a little while, and then we actually left from there to come to the island,
Okay.
to the peninsula.
So how long were you in, you said Japan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, how long were you there?
for like a day.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you didn't really get a chance to really.
not to really
experience-
get the.
So what were the people like on the economy in Korea?
What were the people like?
Yeah.
They were very nice.
Okay.
They're very nice people.
How was the food?
Delicious. Delicious.
Did you eat a lot off base?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and so you didn't have no incidences or no
No.
problems with okay.
No, they're very American, American, they were very American friendly. You know, we had to keep our relationships, healthy with the outside community.
Right.
So.
So you also doing PR?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay, after Korea, where was the next duty base?
My next duty base was in Robins Air Force Base in Warner Robins, Georgia.
And how long were you there?
I was there for 7 years.
And what was your same job?
Same job. I had a couple other positions. Yes.
Okay. And what was that?
I had the record job, the record filing job, and then also I had to watch programs for workload for the medical facility because I worked in my job was medical administration. I always had to work in a hospital.
Okay.
So I'll run programs such as I ran a program. It was called. It was in the resource management office. I had to run the workload for the entire medical facility.
Right.
And we use different systems like CRIS, which is, I forgot the acronym, CRIS and Demers. I really forgot the acronyms. I'm so sorry I brought it up. But I had to. It's basically we're collecting the funding. Not collecting the funding. We're seeing how much workload each military personnel put in, and also we worked with civilian personnel. All of our resources, like we had to report our resources because through the month we have to see how much people we have,
right?
How much workload we have, and what do we need. This is why we're running these reports every single month. That was an interesting position. It was very challenging. But I got to meet a lot of different people down in the headquarters in the Pentagon.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I guess that was pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay. So where were we?
What program?
What place are we at now? We're still in Georgia.
Yes.
And how long were you stationed there again?
I was stationed there for 7 years.
Okay, 7 years. Okay, so did you have any problems up to this point while you were in the military, staying in touch with your family?
No.
Okay. And you feel like you had everything that you needed as far as supplies was concerned all the way through so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me how many more duty bases, where was the next duty base?
Osan, Air Base, Korea.
So you went back to Korea?
Yep.
For how long?
A year.
Another year?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and so same job?
No, I did a different job, very interesting. I did an airback, I had an airback position where we prepared a lot of people in our theater to go back home stateside.
Right.
If there was an incident, if there was something, if they had to be airbagged back to the United States, we would have to prepare them to go through Japan or Hawaii. That was interesting because we had to find the providers who could take care of them intra-theater before they went back home stateside, because that was from Korea to Japan to Hawaii. That's 24 hours. So airbagging them from those 2 points they had to stabilize them until they got to their last place in the United States, wherever they were going. So we had to prepare them. We start the mission there in Korea, and then we send them either to Japan or we send them to Hawaii. We airbag them to Hawaii.
And that was for patients?
Yes.
So, okay, so were these people did they get, and again, okay, what I'm trying to ask you is, the illnesses were they related at all to any kind of combat or training?
Combat? No.
Okay.
No.
Training?
Training? No. Either it could be a terminal illness or, it could be terminal. We were not in a wartime theater.
Okay, so just conventional?
It was dire for them, definitely, but it wasn't wartime.
Okay.
I was in a wartime environment, but
You were?
yes, I
We didn't
was.
get there yet.
We didn't get there.
Okay, so what's the next duty station?
Uh,
When you went back to Korea, did you get to go to Asia, by the way? To the mainland this time, during that year?
I didn't. I didn't go.
Again?
Honestly, I think I skipped a version. I got deployed in 2011 because I got deployed before I went back to Korea. I got deployed. That's when I seen the casualties.
Okay, so after that year, okay, where was the next place?
After wait.
After the year in Korea?
Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland.
Okay, and how long were you there?
I was there for 2 years.
What was that job?
That job, it was readiness preparedness.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was readiness.
Operational readiness, okay.
Yes.
And how long, you were there for a year?
Medical readiness.
Huh?
It was medical readiness.
Medical readiness?
Yes.
And how did you?
It was very challenging. You learn what, we have these things where we categorize every one of our service members.
Right.
Okay, say you all are the service members, and you have different jobs in the medical facility. This is the medical facility, you are all medical personnel. Every personnel that is in the building, they're a part of a team. I was part of the admin team. And the admin team is called a bucket. And you can be a part of the surgery team. You can be a part of the heart team. You can be a part of the surgery team as well. Every bucket moved at certain times of the year. So every bucket had a certain time that it will come around during the year.
Okay.
So when that bucket came around, you had a possibility of getting prepared to get deployed. It's all about getting prepared to get deployed.
Right.
If a deployment comes down and you are selected from that bucket to get deployed, you get deployed. And also with deployments, they have to send an admin team, they have to send a surgery team, they have to send a physician team, they have to send different teams as a whole medical unit.
Right.
So we did this all year, and we had to make sure, and the thing that was very interesting, we had to keep status of every single one of our service members to see if they were able to be deployed. That's why it was very convenient that, say you're one of our surgeons and you get injured, we can't deploy you. We can't deploy you at all. It makes absolutely no sense to deploy you. So we have to keep a track of your health. We have to keep a track of your immunizations. We have to keep track of everything you have going on. We need to keep track of if you have any pending medical retirements. We can't deploy you. So yes, that's what we did. I did that for 2 years.
So you had to follow all the details.
Yes, I did. Very detail oriented.
So where'd you go after that?
I separated.
You separated.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
2016.
Okay, and so you were at Andrews when you separated. But you said you were deployed in 2011? Okay, how did we miss that?
I think you're asking me for my duty stations, and yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So 2011, right?
Yes.
And where'd you go?
I went to Bagram, Afghanistan.
And how long were you there?
I was there for 6 months.
And tell us about that.
That was different. That was interesting. Of course, everything is ran from the medical facility. But what I did, I handled travel for our medical. I'm sorry, my mind just
personnel.
Medical personnel.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It happens.
I handled them getting in and out of the country. That was very challenging. I'm talking about I've gotten in trouble.
You're talking about what?
I've gotten in trouble because it was very, very detail oriented.
Okay.
So we had to pay attention. We had to pay attention when the personnel will come in to the country.
Right.
We had to arrange where they'd be staying, and we had to arrange when the bus was coming to pick them up from the personnel center. And then we had to keep a track of their deployment there, and then we had to keep a track because we did it on a 6-month scale.
Right.
And then we had at the end of 6 months when the exit came, we had to get all those same people out every 6 months. So every month that I'm there, people are leaving every month because they got there either July, August, September, October, November, December. They're leaving because they did their 6 months.
Okay,
And this is, I arranged that.
okay.
So I had to arrange it through the general, I had to arrange it through the commander in my building, like.
Gets you busy.
Yes.
A little overwhelming, huh?
Oh, very.
Are we talking about, just for instance, on a weekly basis, are we talking about a couple hundred people or a couple of thousand?
On a weekly basis, a couple hundred.
Okay, all right. So you were there for 6 months. Did you see any casualties? Were there?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what was that?
It was traumatizing
Uh-huh.
because you see them laid out on a stretcher. It was a lot of the Afghan people around that will come around the base and just trying to get in. Something will happen to them, or somebody gets hurt. You really have to. We had a staging facility, so you would have to bring them through the ICU, and the whole medical unit is helping them. You have to see them coming in with tools. You'll see a lot of people coming in from the front, and they're missing limbs.
Right.
They're missing private areas. They're missing everything. They're burned. So we have to set them up to get them sent to the right places in the United States. If they're burned victims, we have to send them to Kelly in San Antonio. If they're gone, we have to get ready to let their family know.
Okay, so you saying when they're gone, you mean if they're deceased?
Yes.
Got it. And you have to contact you had to contact the family?
No, I don't. There was another department. But yes, I did see casualties.
Okay. Over the course of 6 months, approximately, how many casualties do you think you? Just take a wild guess.
Probably in the hundreds.
In the hundreds.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so after that was your only deployment.
That was my first real deployment.
That was your first. Your first.
That was my first real deployment. Yes.
Was there any more after that?
I did a semi-deployment at the CASA in Ramstein. I saw casualties there.
In Germany.
Yes.
How long were you there?
I was there for 4 months.
And what year was that?
2007.
Okay.
Yes. That was basically like the same thing. We had to keep track of when the casualties were coming from Iraq, Afghanistan. They'd come through the staging facility. We had to keep track of what type of casualties were there. Were they burn victims? Were they ambulatory victims? Meaning if they had an injury, could they walk? Are they CCAT?
What is CCAT?
CCAT means they're pretty much attached to, they're heart patients.
Oh.
They're heart patients, so they're laid out in a stretcher. It's like an ambulatory stretcher. They're unconscious. They can't breathe on their own. And so you'll have a team, you'll have a whole heart team.
Right.
You'll have the technicians and the doctors. They're tending to these patients while in flight to Germany, and then they'll be in flight to the next location. So we had to keep in touch, and we had to keep a track of who these patients were.
Were there any other deployments besides those two?
No.
Okay, so that was it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you say you got out in 16? And what did you do where were you when you got out of, well, first of all, you said, you shared with us that you were in Germany. Were there any other places while you were in the service that you have not mentioned that you traveled to?
I think I mentioned them all. I mentioned them all. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay. I mentioned them. I mentioned them all.
You
Yeah.
got everything?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Besides the instances that you've already mentioned, can you remember, or, can you revisit two other memorable moments in your service career that really stood out?
2 moments. My deployment.
Okay.
Yeah. And my time in Korea.
Okay. That's cool. All right, so last duty base was where?
Andrews Air Force Base.
Okay, and what did you do when you came out of the service?
What did I do?
Did you use the GI Bill for
I
anything
did.
while you were in the service?
Yes.
Education?
Yes.
Okay, what degrees did you get?
I got my business administration associates. I'm in the process of getting my bachelor's.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you going to school right now?
Strayer University.
Who?
Strayer.
Got you.
Yeah.
So what did you do after the military up to this point?
Up to this point,
Yeah.
you know, I started working for Comcast. Yeah, I've been there for the last 3 years.
Okay.
So I work with them. And I'm still in school by changing my major, but I'm still with them. I've been there since 2018.
Okay.
Up to now.
All right. And good. Okay. Really covered everything. So how did you handle overall pressure and stress?
How do I handle that? I talk to a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to a therapist because it's just a struggle trying to get your stability back.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have your stability in check, you're going to be depressed about a lot of things because it's going to affect a lot of things. So I talk to a therapist every month to just help me regulate my emotions.
Right.
That's a big part of a lot of things for me. Just learning how to regulate my emotions if things are off kilter here, and just learning that, I don't want to call it being resilient, just learning how to just self-soothe and self-regulate, or know when I can call for someone when I feel like I'm in a crisis.
I only have 2 more questions
Yes,
for you.
sir.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Yes, it did. It did. Well, the military in general, yes.
Okay. And last question, how did your service and experiences affect your life?
How did it affect my life? It made me made me a morning person, because I love waking up in the morning. A lot of people are not morning people. I love getting up early in the morning. I've learned how to organize a lot of my life, or just, be like structured,
Right.
which is very important to me. I need a lot of structure. So that's very important. I thought I could do the thing without structure, do life without structure. I can't. But it gave me that structure I really, really needed. I didn't even know I needed.
So the discipline
Yes.
paid off.
Yep.
Got it. Well, I want to thank you for a wonderful interview. I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And right now I want to find out if any of my students have any questions that they'd like to ask you, or...
So about like how you said if the surgeon person had any like injuries, like did it matter if there were minor injuries?
No, like stuff they were going to see routine care for, no. But if they had broke a leg, if they had any heart issues, they did surgery, they had to watch them for that time before that their deployment time came, and see if they were nursed back to health, to see if they can send them, or they'd have to have another person go in their place. Because we had more than one of everything there. Like if you have one surgeon, you have 2 more. Okay, so I let the young lady know that we had minor injuries did not prevent them from getting deployed. Like I was saying, like we had more than one of everything. If we had one surgeon, we had 5 of them. If we had to put someone in someone else's place, that's who's going. We would have to monitor their health and anything in their records throughout the time they were there. Somebody got sent to jail during that time. So yeah, it was a surgeon. So that was different.
Did you feel like you were encouraged to travel when you were in those cool places like Korea and Germany? Did they tell you?
I was. When I went to Germany, I went to France. I went to Paris.
Oh, nice.
Oh
good.
my God, I went to
So-
Brussels.
Good, good.
Yeah.
What a fun
What?
to be able to like at
I don't
least,
believe that.
if you're being forced to travel all over the world, you get some fun out of it to be able to see some nice
Yeah, I try to tell people about it, like, hey, go there, go here.
Yeah.
Like, really? But I went 13 years ago, so I don't know.
So you have to go back now.
I do.
As soon
That's
as
cute
we're allowed to
bag.
travel again.
Cute bag.
Yeah, I want to go back. I go to Italy a lot because my family's from there and I have a lot of family there.
You do?
Yeah, and it's awesome. I love Italy so much.
I've been researching everywhere to go. Like, I want a summer trip.
Yeah, me too. Like,
Yeah.
I finally got my passport all back in action. I got my whole family, I have a baby, and my baby even got a passport, and I'm like, all right, people, we can go places now.
I want to do,
But now we can't afford it.
I want to do Venice,
Oh, yeah, Venice.
Florence.